Okay, we're back, and this time we're doing Google Apps for Learning Financial Literacy, Unit 1, Project 2. So we're going to go ahead, and of course we're going to open that. And as you know, I always tell you to right-click, open link in new tab, just in case I want to go back to it. Now, the other thing we'll need to open is coming over here. You will need to remember to open the book, the e-text. The book is right here, reminding you what these are here for is basically how this class aligns with various state standards. But this is the text right here, and again, you'll just click on it. I've already got it opened right over here, and as you're reading this, you should actually go through this and remember that short-term goal and long-term goal were on the pretest. That means they'll be on the quiz at the end of the unit. You need to know what they are. SMART goals, you need to be aware, specific. We'll talk about this later. Measurable, attainable, results focused, and time oriented. This is what we talk about when we talk about a SMART goal. Okay? So, with that all said, let's go ahead and see what they're telling us to do. Okay. Well, first, we're going to open it, and remember to go ahead and open it and click on the blue text here, simply to open it in its own window. Otherwise, it gets really hard to do. Okay, and as you can see, the text we're going to be using is right here. I gave you most of the text because, frankly, I didn't want you spending the entire time typing. Okay, so scrolling down. Okay, you've already done that. You've already done there. Okay, as you complete the project, refer to the image. And again, for the picture, we're going to come down to here. And here's the picture, okay, of what you're doing. You may have to rotate this in order to see the picture correctly. If you do need to rotate it to see that correctly, you're going to come up to here and you see the rotate button there, okay? If you click it once and suddenly it's upside down, then that means you need to click it 2 more times because each click it's going to rotate by 90 degrees, just so you know what's going on. Okay, so let's come over here, and I'm taking a look and see what they want. Okay, the first thing they want here is a header. Okay, the first thing they want is to turn the page to landscape orientation. Should have remembered that. Okay, landscape and letter. I'm going to purposely zoom out quite a bit here. Okay, you notice that the page is basically up and down. This is the way we normally write on a page, but the other direction going wide is referred to as landscape. We're going to go ahead and make that change by clicking on File. Let me get this out of the way. File, and scroll down to Page Setup. We went to Page Setup in our last lesson, but we did something different. This time we're going to come right here, and we're going to click on Landscape, and then click on OK. And you notice that now the page is in a wide position instead of an up and down position. And that's what we're supposed to have done. Okay. So now let's go back to the book. So we changed the page orientation to landscape. Insert a header. And on the third line of the header, key in the text in bold as shown. Okay. Let's come down here. Just want to see what they want on that. Okay, name and class period. Okay, so I'm just going to let you know what a header here is. A header is a portion of type of print that appears in the margin of the document, and it appears on all pages. Okay, so if you have something that's more than one page, the header is going to appear on every single one of the pages. So let's go ahead and insert that header. I clicked on insert. Big surprise, I came down here to header. There we go. You notice the gray line here separating the header. Only put the things that go on every single page up here. All the other stuff goes below the header, and we'll switch back in just a minute. First thing I'm going to do is put in my name. Now, unless you've been told otherwise, by the way, you really should have your typing in Times New Roman 12-point font. I don't even see Times New Roman there, so I'm going to scroll down. PQRST, Times New Roman, 12-point font. Unless you know otherwise, for all of your school writing, it should be in Times New Roman 12-point font. Now I'm just going to hit the tab key a bunch of times until I'm under the 7 right here. Okay, and I'm going to put in computer 1. Here, you'll put in your block number, computer 1, comma. So if you're in 3D, you'd put in 3D. If you're in, 4A, you'd put in 4A. Whatever block you're in, that's what you're going to put there. Don't write video. That's just for me. You're going to put your block number there. Now, to get out of the header, it's really simple. We're just going to come down here to the body of our document, and we're going to click. Done. Now we're out of the header. Okay, let's see what the next thing they tell us to do is. Scrolling back up. Yep. On the first line of the document, insert a 4 column by 5 row table. Okay. So going to come over here to insert table, 4 column by 5 row, 4 by 5, and click. There we go. Okay, what's the next thing it's going to tell me to do? Okay, resize the width of column 1 to 3 inches. Okay, that's going to be not too hard. What I'm going to do here, and there are other ways, I'm going to move my cursor into the center of, well, it's not really the center because I got this weird thing in front on the top. I'm going to go right about there. I'm going to press and hold the left mouse button down, and I'm simply going to select all 5 of those cells. A cell is where a column and a row intersect. The boxes are called cells, and that will matter when you're using spreadsheets and as you move on in the class, particularly if you take the test at the high school, and I'll explain that in class. So now I'm going to move to the edge here. Actually, I don't need to. I can be right here because I've got them selected. And I'm going to right click, and I'm going to come down here to Table Properties, Column Width, and I'm going to change that to 3. Okay. And because those were the only cells I had selected, it did that to only those cells. Great. Let's see what the next steps here said. And the remaining columns to 2 inches. Again, I'm going to just come here. I'm going to select all of those just like that. Click. Table Properties. Column Width. 2. Okay. It didn't make much of a difference because they're already very close to that. But so we set the column width on all of these at this point. Great. Now let's come down here. Oh, they do say to use Arial font size 11. So when they tell you to use a different font, then of course you'll use it. Key in the text into the table. Okay. Be sure to bold and use all caps as shown. Okay, let's come down here. Okay. I'm trying to kind of get this in the middle here so you guys can see what I'm going to be doing, because we're going to basically be copying off of this. Specific, S-P-E-C-I-F-I-C. You can find out You might say, wait a minute, Mr. Crawford, it said to use all caps, just like it was shown. Yeah. I'm going to show you something later on, but basically I'm going to go ahead and select that. Format, text, capitalization, uppercase. We're going to do that to several places, though, just to let you know, okay? So the next thing that goes there is who, why, what, when, where, who. And I gave that to you right here. Control-C. And by the way, hopefully you heard me say Control-C or copy. You can also, again, right-click and choose copy. Either one of those works. Come right here, Control-V, enter. And the next line said, there is a greater chance of success when a goal is specific rather than general. In other words, when it's really narrowed down exactly what you want. You don't just want to get better at basketball. That's vague. You want to improve your free throw shots. Okay, that narrows it down a lot more. Control-C, because you'll be better at basketball the day you leave practice. You just won't be as good as you want to be. Control-V. Good. Okay. Next one. I want to get an internship. I want to gain the skill, or specific, not specific. Okay. So I'm going to come back up here. Okay. The first one here is easy. X, not specific. Okay. Over here, it tells us to put in that check mark. Okay. And if you look at the instructions, it makes a comment that you're going to find these in special characters. And I want to show you where that's found. Then I'm going to show you the easy way of doing the others. Okay. So again, I'm going to come over here to Insert, Special Characters. And I'm going to move this a little bit so you can see what's going on. And we're going to insert a check mark. Okay, C-H-E-C-K, C-H-E-C-K. And we're going to come in here, and we're going to just use this fifth one here, heavy check mark. Just click on that, and now click on the X. Now, because I don't really feel like reinventing the wheel, I selected it. If you're wondering what I did, I simply selected it, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. I don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. Okay. R1, S-P-E-C-I-F-I-C. And here, my specific goal. Yes. Yes, of course, that's what I meant. Oh, they actually have these in lowercase, so I will do that. And a semicolon at the end. The semicolon is a shifted character to the right of the letter L, just to let you know where that is. Okay, what have I got? I want to get an internship. I want to learn skills. Okay, get back over here. I want to get an internship. And what they're saying is this isn't very specific. It really does. I mean, it's sort of vague. It's like, yeah, sure, I want to get an internship. Why not? Is really what it looks at. Control V. Coming back over to here. I copy this next one. Control C. Here. Enter. Control V. Okay, let's go to the next one. And I am aware of it, so that it's, you can see how it pulls in that gray. We're just going to go ahead and do each of these this way. So the next one is measurable. That's in 3011. It is. Okay. X. Measurable. Measurable. We're talking about your measurable goal. Oops, wrong one. I want to go over to here for the text. Well, you need to see what the text is. Let me come over here now. And my measurable goal, come over how much and how many. Okay, Control C. Over here, measurable, enter, Control V, enter. And let's come back over here and get the next line. Like I was talking to you about getting better basketball, you want, so your specific goal is you want to improve your free throw performance. Okay, and before you try out at the high school, Control V. So your measurable goal is going to be something along the lines of, I will make 90% of my free throw shots in 3 sets of 20. Okay, that's measurable. Either you made that measurable goal or you didn't. Sorry, phone call, and it was a telemarketer. It really wasn't worth stopping talking to you about. But by having that defined of how getting better, how success is going to be measured, you know if you got there or not. Just, I'll be better at basketball. I mean, you'll be better after you leave practice. But the question is, how much better? And that you need to apply numbers to. In some way, you need to make it into, the term here is objective, an objective measure of performance. Okay, I will take marketing classes, and that's really vague. How many classes is that going to be? Okay, is it going to be 1 class, 2 classes? Yeah, that's just way too vague. That is not measurable. Control V. Okay, coming back over here though, I will complete all the marketing classes at my high school by the time I graduate. Okay, that's measurable. We can look at see how many classes they offer, and we can see if you did it, and we can easily define success there. Okay, so I'm going to keep going on this, and then I'm going to show you how to format in just a few minutes. So I'm here on Attainable. I'm just going to go double click right there, Control C. And so when I'm copying, enter, Control V. Good. I'm going to go back a little bit here. By the way, that space is supposed to be there, so I'm just going to hit enter there and there. If you look in the book, you'll see that that space is there on each of these. It needs to be reachable. Okay, you're probably, I mean, to say that you have failed if you make not just 90, but 95% of your shots, but that wasn't 100%, it needs to be reachable. Now, that's not an excuse for not practicing, but there is a certain point where you have to make sure that your goals are something that are attainable. And that's what we mean when we talk about a SMART goal. Now, I don't like this one. I want to learn marketing goals, skills. The reason I don't like it is because what does it mean? It's not specific enough to know if it is attainable. I mean, if a not attainable would be something like, I want to learn everything there is to know about marketing. Well, that might be a nice goal. Yeah. But the people who teach you at your colleges are going to know that they don't know everything there is to know about marketing. Big surprise. There's always more. The more you learn about a subject, the more you learn that you don't know everything about that subject. That's just the reality there. And then my attainable goal. Okay. Let's come over here to the next one. SMAR. So when we talk about a results focused goal here, this is a lot similar to specific, and I'll admit that, but it needs to be something you can visualize, that you can actually see yourself successfully doing in the amount of time you've been given, and that it's, again, specific. And it has to be something that is a little bit more objective. That it can't be, I make this one hard, but it can't be something like to feel better. It's got to be going back to the measurable. It has to be something measurable. And that's kind of what we're looking at there. Now, I do realize that there are scales for measurement for feeling, and that's why I sort of was a little bit, hesitant to say that one. But it's basically, it needs to be something completely measurable. And we're going to do our last one here, time-based. So I'll go ahead and start that one. Goes in. Okay, and for your time-based goal, it will be coming back to the idea that you should have a time frame, okay? Control C. So as you're preparing for this objective of being able to, you want to get on the team, and one of the things you specifically are going to work on is your free throw performance. Oops, okay, no problem. We'll fix that in a minute. So, and it may do that on yours. It did that on a lot of people in class, so it's not an issue. Control C. You need to have time frames in there. Certainly before I finish, say, the 8th grade is an example of a time frame. If it's something like that where you focus the real prize isn't the free throw performance, but the real prize is being on the basketball team, then maybe you need to rethink some of these, like time. Possibly the time needs to be a little bit shorter, or you need to also be focusing on other parts of your game. But the goal, if the real goal is to get on the team, this may not be enough, but there's nothing wrong with having that as your results focused goal of that. The purpose of this is to go towards being on the team. I will update my resume. Again, that's super vague. When are you going to do it? And so that's used on this one here, simply not time-based. Control V. I'll update my resume. Back here, I will update my resume on. By the way, you'll notice other things about running here. They used a running example in the book, and I left that one in there for you to see kind of what we meant by those. Time-based over here. And let's take a look and see how that looks. Well, we'll know in a few minutes. Okay, so far we now have all of the text in, okay? So let's go back to the book here. We've done all of that part here. I'm just turning the red scroll wheel to go on up. Okay, so turn to landscape. We keyed in all the text. Okay, inserted the table, did that, keyed in the text. Okay, so here they want us to make column 1 these words to be impact font 16 points. So here, and you notice I wanted them in caps. So here's where we're going to start doing some other stuff, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on project. First thing I want to do is click somewhere. I don't care where. I'm going to click on A, Control A, not the letter A, Control A. Okay, I'm going to come over here. You don't see a line under text color because there are 2 text colors here, and I want this whole thing to be black. Okay, now it is black. Okay, next. I'm going to go ahead and select that word specific. Okay, and it said that they want that to be in impact font. Again, if you can't find impact, Brie serif is good. And they want that to be 16 point. Okay, impact 16 point and all caps. So now I've got that selected. I'm going to click on that. I don't want to do that to each of these. That's too much work. Okay. Oh, I see a little oddity here. There we go. See how that's nicely lined up at this point? Okay. Now, come back over here. Come back over to specific. I'm going to click on the paint format here. You probably haven't used it. I'm going to click on that. Take that format painter and I'm going to drag it over the word measurable. I did want measurable to be all caps, format, text, capitalization, uppercase. Okay, so if you did it and something in all caps, you need to change that to or from all caps or any of that stuff, it's very easy to do. Format painter, attainable. Again, format, text, capitalization, uppercase. Results focused. Oops, click on this. Format painter, drag it over, results focused. Okay, now again, we're just going to go. You've probably got it down at this point. Format text, capitalization, uppercase. Good. And I'm going to select the format painter, drag that over to word timed base. Good. Format text, capitalization, uppercase. Fixed. Okay, the next thing they specifically say that they want us to do is to make this bold. Now, because we're going to be doing so much of this, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to use Control B instead of pressing bold. So Control B, Control B, Control B, Control B. Oops, I almost hit V. I think I did. So Control Z. Yeah, you may have noticed. So now Control B, Control B. Now, I'll get to that in a few minutes, okay? Because I want to go back to the picture when I show you what I'm looking at. Control B. Control B. You're watching because I want you to see all the ones that are supposed to be in bold, and that's why I'm doing it this way instead of stopping the video and just doing it all and then starting the video again. You'll notice I stopped it a few times just to save you from watching me do. Control B. Oops, come on. Control B. Oops, I forgot a sentence here. We're going to go back and get it. Lost 2 sentences. Oh, no, I didn't. It's down below. I want to get rid of some of these gaps here, like right down. Something happened here. No, it didn't. Okay, it's thinking that there's nothing there. Okay. It doesn't see a line there. Okay. So I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to try to even some of these out. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I want all of these to be relatively even. Let's look and see what they did there in the book. Well, first off, let's see if they got any other things that they want us to do. Oh, they want us to change the border table. Okay, so we'll do that next, and then we'll finish it up. So let's look and see. Yeah, they have that space there. I see they don't have the space there. So that's where the difference is. Because you do want to get this all on one page. Okay, so what they did, backspace, enter. Backspace, enter. Nope, that one. Oh, okay. Backspace. Backspace. Okay, let's see where else we can compress this a little bit before I apply for the internship. Okay, click there. Nice. Good. Good. Now it fit. Now it's There's nothing really on this next page, okay? By the way, you notice here that the header is on that other page, but there's nothing really on this second page, which is basically what we wanted, okay? Now, one thing, though, is that if you're going to have no space there, you pretty well have to do it on all of them. Yeah, oops, enter. Be consistent in your work, okay? So if you've got no space under stuff, it's more important in many to be for your product when you're writing for school. Be consistent than that it be then, unless your teacher specifically told you to do something, then that it be correct according to, say, a grammar guide. Now, I'm not saying to write garbage and say it's consistently garbage, but it simply looks better when you do the same thing or you make it nice and even through the entire thing. Now, there's one last thing they said they wanted us to do here, and that was to go ahead and actually, yeah, they did have spaces there. They want us to set this to 2.25 font. In the other classes, I didn't have to. So I'm going to move over the border here. It doesn't matter which one I pick again. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to select table properties. Now, what we want to do here is change the table border thickness and watch what happens as I do this. So I can come down here, 2.25, and I'm going to click on OK. And you notice now the border is thicker. Now, we do have room that we could come through and like it wanted. Put that enter there. I'm 90% sure we could do that. But again, if you do it here, do it everywhere. Do it on these other ones too. Don't, and no, we ran out of space. You see what I'm saying? That line right there. Okay. So we ran out of space. So I'm just going to backspace there. We ran out of room. It's not a problem. This looks perfectly fine. And this is ready to be turned in. So the main thing. I see. Okay. So make sure that that you get this turned in. Remember to click on submit. Otherwise, it does not get turned in and I cannot see it. And we've knocked another one out. So I'll be doing the next one probably tomorrow. So have a good evening.